here, and we've got a couple of geysers we've not unearthed yet. So that's about it, really. As I saw earlier, the steam geyser produces way less steam per second than the steam turbine needs. Therefore, you need to use doors to keep the steam closed until it reaches a certain weight using automation. That takes time and not worth it. You're very welcome, Interbay. No problem at all, buddy. Welcome to the stream, as I say. Right, okay. The problem with steam turbines is, because you do have to operate them at such a high temperature, in order to keep them pressurised, as in keeping it a lower pressure above than below, you need to be using mechanical airlocks to circulate your steam. If you don't do that, then all that happens is you constantly push through cold steam through the top, which lingers around the top of the steam turbine and cools it off. Okay, because as I say, you're removing a fixed amount of temperature every time the steam passes through. So what you realistically need to be doing is siphoning off some of that steam to a separate room and cooling it, and then pumping in more steam. You can do it. There are a few exploits at the minute where you can bug out steam turbines by putting different gases above them and liquids above them, but I'm not going to explain any of that to you because I think it's dirty and it's probably going to be fixed very soon. But yeah, realistically, you need if you're going to use steam turbines, it is a late game option, and you're going to need to be cycling that steam. You can't use pumps because pumps will just melt 'cause it's too hot and too inhospitable. So you have to use mechanised airlocks basically. So no way around that. It's just how it is. I have seen a couple of builds where they used hot liquid to move steam around, but they're not very intelligent and they're very, very hit and miss. So yeah, we still need a high temp pump, don't we? We do. Just an abyss-like coated pump. That's what we need. That would fix all of the problems. But alas, we do not have that. Surrey, thank you very much for the host. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. Using doors as pumps is real dumb. Yeah, I mean, when they brought in the automation update, it was the only thing that people were doing. I mean, me included. As soon as they brought in automation, the first thing I thought was mechanical airlocks because we didn't have any way of triggering them before. I'm assuming there's going to be a lot more automation related stuff in the future, but for now, it is what it is. It's what we've got, and you know, if it does serve a purpose, then that's that. Bursky redeemed a question. What is the fluff about? Okay, I should explain. The fluff is something that I used to. It's a currency from my bot. Okay, when I moved my currency to Streamlabs, my currency is staying on there now, and it's just accumulating over time. In the future, fluff will be used for things. You can do things with it. You'll be using it for giveaways. You'll be using it for all sorts of stuff. It's a currency basically for the stream. At the minute, you can't do much with it, but in the future, you will be able to. So just keep accumulating it. Stop asking me questions about what it is, and save your fluff, because in the future, it'll be like a currency for using for things. So I figured I'd turn it on now so that those that have helped me get the channel up and running can have a benefit of it in the future. So, yeah. Little horseshoe-shaped polluted and clean water tank is a riddle to me. This thing down here. This is for overpressurizing liquids. It's basically that. This guy's base is useless to me at the moment. It's producing heat, which is probably for me. Shall I use isolated tiles around it? No, just put abyss-like tiles. Just cap it with abyss-like tiles. That's it. Yeah, just build. Hold on. So say this was your hot geyser. Just build abyss-like tiles. I don't know why that was so difficult, but just build a wall of abyss-like tiles around it. That's that. Camo, you son of a bitch. Good evening, buddy. Abyss-like tiles around it, plus the neutronium, and it's airtight. No temperature will come out, and once it gets to a certain level of liquid, it'll submerge the geyser and it won't emit any more steam. Will the bird ranks return? Probably in the future. I have kept the spreadsheet with all the different rankings and stuff, and I can download a database of all the points in the future. I think if we ever do move away from Streamlabs in the future, which I think is probably going to happen, I'll use a totally different bot for all the rankings and stuff. Yeah, I did like the idea of having like veteran ranks and stuff, so we'll go back to that in the future. Just not quite yet. Okay, we're still quite low on algae, but I want to get this done and boxed off. before we do much else. And then we'll do a rushed algae dig up here in a minute and get this pocket here. I think there used to be bird command, but I don't think it works anymore. You missed blame. Blame should now work again, I think. There you go. that's pretty spot on, actually, that one. Explain the steam turbine system as such to me. I chose wise to follow your stream. No problem at all. Despite any questions, just ask. I mean, it's not just me that can help you. The whole stream knows about this stuff. So, damn it, nerd. Yeah, anything like that is all. It's all done. It's all automatic. So that should be added now to the list. The blame add thing. Streamlabs updated and changed some of the coding that was used, so I had to fix them all. Skirt the twats and save your fluff. And there are 2 priceless quotes for your memoirs. Yeah, my memoirs will be pretty pedestrian, I think. Right. So, I kind of want them to be doing all this stuff and getting this tidied out. I want to get a roof on the base and I want to get this wall done, and then we'll build this backwards into the base. I think that'll probably be easier. We'll come back to this later. I need to build 5 more of these little rooms today, which is going to be a bit of an arse ache. But we'll be alright. I'm going to extend this ladder up here as well whilst I think on. I'm sort of just spectating the game at the minute because as I say, I laid out a few build commands for them to be getting on with. I'm going to give this some power. Yeah, I'll tell you what, let's get this done with a 7 as well. I want this finished. We'll get our other side of the power grid up and running as well. And this can be a 7. Yeah, so to map all this out, I needed quite a bit of an abyssalite, so I did have to run the game for a couple of cycles, as I say. But I basically dug some abyssalite, planned all this, and then just paused it again. So I like getting a bit of an idea of how big the base is going to be and where things can go. Managed to go to 40th cycle with around 210 kilocal, 14 dupes. Enough oxygen, but the CO2 is beginning to be a problem since it's raising up to my base levels. Shall I use more of those oxygen production machines that use algae? Either that or eat more of your CO2. So if you expose more slicksters, they'll consume more CO2. I think we're probably at a similar point where the CO2 is at the bottom of our base, but that's fine. The oxygen's up here. I'm okay with that. Is there a way to show you my base? Yeah, you can just do print screen and then copy it in Discord. Thank you, Max. If you follow that link on Discord, despite obviously you can copy and paste your pictures into Discord. That's what it's there for. There is an Oni Talk section, so post them in there and I'll have a look. Why have I got idle dupes? Are they stuck? Yes. Yes. Yeah, they're stuck. Well, whilst you're stuck, do a bit of digging for me for a minute. I'm going to want to get all this water out at some point, but for now, let's just do a cheeky little dig here. We'll get rid of some of you. We'll leave you. These are going to be stuck here until this is done. Ah, there we go. Should be able to get out now. So this is going to be another transformer and battery room. The only thing is I'm going to have to put my batteries in a slightly different format because otherwise they will connect to the heavy watt wire that's going to be down the back here. Which is a bit of a bugger, but not the end of the world. think. Dark, I get tired of seeing the layout of light space. There's some real art going on here. Oh, Desudros, too kind. Too kind, buddy. Right. Okay. So, I want this to be done with some urgency, ideally. And we'll also seal up this side as well. Hop across here for now. Oh, need to be careful with this. Let's just do a little dig here to be safe. Let's get rid of all this stuff. Just in case anyone traps themselves inside. I'm gonna head back and catch up on your previous stream later. Take it easy, Rec. I thought you'd already left, mate. I didn't want to show you too much of the base if you were still catching up. Sorry, buddy. But thank you for popping in, mate. Much appreciated. How are you keeping the batteries cool? I've got a little conveyor system that's cooling. It's granite on the conveyor rails that's being passed through some cooled oil, which is then cooling my cold gens and batteries and stuff. It looks a little bit rough in here at the minute, but it's because there's no gas in here. Excuse me. I've got a very low amount of gas. I'm waiting to get hydrogen down here, really. So where we've got chlorine here, it's very warm. And where we've got carbon dioxide and stuff down here, it's actually much cooler. But we'll get some hydrogen in there at some point. The reason why I've got so many is that I think they're constantly going back to breathe oxygen and barely getting any jobs done. That does just happen despite that. That's what happens if you don't, have oxygen areas outside. My dupes are doing the same thing. They'll run halfway to a job, do a little bit, and then get, out of air. But it is what it is. Until you get your electrolyzers up and start oxygenating the world, that's just how it is. Basically a chaotic, shambled mess. Nothing wrong with that at all. Also, I built a shower, 3 toilets and 3 sinks. Nice. Conveyor belt with cooled granite. That is so on-y. What do you mean, Domain? Chaos never hurts dupes. Chaos is fine in this game. I like that. I like that as well. I've got a bit of a, I don't know, it's a weakness of mine. I do like things to be sort of, I don't know what the word is. I don't know what word would best describe it. I like to dig out all the mess around my base, and I like to try and clear it out. I don't like to do too much. I always leave debris on the outside of the world, but I do like to clear some space and give myself room to work and stuff, Right. Get you dug out as well. That should let us get most of this wall done.
Pretty good.
Leppy, good evening, buddy. Thank you very much for the bits, bud. How are you, mate? You alright? I've not seen you much recently, buddy. What have you been playing? What have you been doing? Using cold liquids in pipes is normal. Carting around giant lumps of cold stone is so silly. As if you're going to say the word silly in relation to this game. Like, look. We've got hatches that poop eggs out of their mouths. Like, of course the game's silly. Of course it's silly. Wouldn't have it any other way. It's not meant to be fucking super physics, Sim 2018. Are you still been playing Eco? Holy shit, Leppy, you're addicted, man. I was thinking about Eco today, but the thought of it sort of... I'll wait for there's more updates, to be honest. It didn't do much for me. Right. 1.5 tons of algae at the minute. I'll get some more of this done. In fact, because I'm tired of looking at it, let's get that done. And let's get all this done as well, with some urgency. Probably going to need a couple of ladders up here. That'll be fine. Just saying, crafting lasers and combustion generators so free for another, let's say, 10 hours. House value update is insane. Oh, I see. 160 bonus budget. What the fuck? It seems crazy. Yeah, I think I'm going to wait for a few updates for that game. It was fun, but I think it did get a little bit old a little bit quickly. Right, so in here then, what we're going to want, I'm going to do this slightly backwards. So over here, I'll go like that. I'll just make everything out of iron again because we're going to be cooling it, so it should be fine. And then I'll make the transformers out of iron as well. I don't know if we're going to have enough room, you know. It's a little bit tighter on this side because I need to move this battery out, as I say. Actually, we'll change this a little bit. We'll do this instead. And then we'll leave a little gap. And we'll do another row here. And that'll be our 8 circuits. And then heavy wire. Fuck it, we'll use gold. You can go like this. And then, as before, we'll go boop. We'll get all this done in one fell swoop, ideally. That should work. That should be okay. So, there's quite a lot of work to do here, and obviously we're going to have to put temp shift plates and all that sort of stuff as well, but it'll be done when it's done, I suppose. I'm going to seal this off, because I think we're about as done here as I want to be right now. And then we'll also start digging out some of this crap as well. I'm going to leave this for now. You know, you talk about eco like you didn't disappear for a week. It's an episode from Family Guy where Quagmire discovered internet porn. Now comes back with an arm like that. A big fucking bicep. Why not transformers on the outside? What do you mean, Max? You merge more beards and consuming so much more coffee. I did play a lot of eco. No, I enjoyed the hell out of it, only half. It just got very, very boring. Like, once you played one playthrough, it was very, very boring. Like, it just got very old very quickly. A great fun first time around. And I will go back to that game. It's just, it got very repetitive very quickly. But I agree, I did disappear for a while. I played a lot of that game. I played a lot of it. Yeah, I think you're talking about down here, Scyther. These tiles here. I don't think it really matters, to be honest, buddy. I don't think it matters. We'll see. Like, if I knock out the tile, I'm not going to be able to force this gas out because this liquid level isn't high enough. So the gas would still just stay here. Who's suffocating? Oh, my mushrooms are dying. Got too much chlorine in here. I think what I'm going to do is temporarily nip this off here. And we'll fit this in here. Pumping a bit of carbon dioxide into this room. I just need to get this chlorine out. We've got lots of chlorine around the base. It's trolling me a little bit. Who's suffocating still? Okay. Yeah, I think this will be fine, Scyther. I don't think we need to worry about this yet. Okay. What pressure are we at up here? Going to be a few packets of chlorine in here, but not much. Hopefully, it should be mostly CO2. We will end up moving this mushroom farm, by the way. It's not going to stay here anymore. But for now, we'll keep using it because it is giving us some food. We'll get rid of it in the future. We've still got, I think we should have lots of slime. Got 73 tons of slime still left as well, so I'm fine with that. Okay. That should be fine.